Alright everyone, we are recording right on the heels of the 200 subscriber special, as in it being released, since I did technically record that yesterday, and yesterday is going to be different by the time I release this video, so we're just going to move on. Welcome back everyone, we're here to have some good old fun once again. And this time we're going to tackle a game that I've been quite intrigued with for the past few months, Psychopomp. Now technically there is a version of the game available for free that came out first, which is simply Psychopomp. However, in 2024, I do believe, if I have my dates right, they released Psychopomp Gold, which was a sort of remaster enhanced edition. As far as I'm aware, basically, as I understand it, Psychopomp Gold is just meant to be Psychopomp, but better. So I decided, if this is going to be the definitive edition, so to speak, I should jump into that first. So that's what we're doing today. No more tallying, let's get right into it. And I am going to try some new things in this video. If they have succeeded, this video should be less than an hour and a half. If they have partially succeeded, it'll be around there. If they've entirely failed, it'll be closer to 2 hours. Let's see how this goes. Normally I cut this out, but I'm showing it this just for this. That was unsettling and disturbing, and yet somehow faintly nostalgic. Alright. No use dallying. This is gonna be an experience. Let's see if it's a good one. Begin. Everyone everywhere has secrets. Did you know that everyone has special powers and they've kept it a secret from me my entire life? But I won't stand for that. That's why I made a helmet. I call it Machine That Lets Me Read People's Minds When I Want to, or Psychopomp for short. But something happened when I put it on. It didn't let me read people's minds, but it did let me see something else. A world that was hidden from me, that everyone knew about. A world hidden in plain sight, with all sorts of animals and creatures and dead bodies. There are catacombs hidden under every public government building. I will not allow any more secrets to be kept from me. If Psychopomp was meant to be an acronym for this machine, then it barely has any of the letters, I believe. Editing guy, could you double check that for me? That's it. Wow, we got some pseudo 3D going on. Okay. I'm assuming these are meters of some kind. Oh, that's an inventory. Well, translation on the fly? That's actually pretty neat. Alright, nothing happened in the time we were gone. It's just that I hit this and it made the screen windowed. I don't know if that affected the recording, so I decided to just cut out me pushing this button. So yeah, Be careful of this button if you're recording. That said, so this meter is stamina, this is health. We start with twice as much stamina as health, just about. Unusual, but I can dig it. Oh, we start with a flashlight and you can turn it off. This doesn't seem to do anything. And I assume this is my inventory screen. Hammer. Okay, so I have to assume that this is my method of attack. And despite it clearly showing me hitting nothing in the front of the screen, it does make a noise appropriate to where I'm clicking. If I click on the empty air, it makes a whoosh sound. But if I click over here, it sounds as if I hit it, even though it's still hit in the middle. Interesting. Wait. I'm an idiot. I've been assuming that this game is mouse-driven just because of that weird nostalgia, but I betcha if I hit the WASD keys, there we go. I could move this whole time. Alright, so it feels like grid-based movement. Alright, yep. I thought that might have been a map at first, but no, it's clearly still inventory. You're in the world. Use the WASD keys to move and turn. Use the Q and E keys to strafe. Hold shift to sprint. That would have been good to know earlier. And yes, sprinting takes stamina. Honestly, sprinting doesn't seem to be that much faster. I do love the animation for it, though. Oh, Q and E to strafe, I get it. Are we, like, in a canal? Like, in a ditch on the side of the street? Well, might as well get out of the water. Around to the side, but that is obviously a key. Gonna grab that first. Items are important to many things. To pick up an item, choose a touch mode of interaction and click on the item. Oh, so we have an inventory system that isn't item goes in square. This is item takes up squares it needs. Very interesting. Basic key. A rusted key. Someone put the rust there on purpose. Oh my, so we're playing that kind of game. Oh, this'll be fun. You can talk to people and do many other things with them too, though they may lie to you in many ways. So this is a person, huh? Look, the girl doesn't make you think anything one way or another. You feel like she's polite for being that way. Interesting. I can't take it. It's only going to get worse and worse. Nondescript girl. Oh, I see. That's her head. Poke. Her hair is cold and rough, like hair would be on a night like tonight. You wonder how it tastes and have to hold back from finding out. Okay? And I assume this is red because it is used to attack, so I'm obviously not going to do that. Hang on. What's this over here first? Something is going on with that. Anyway. Oh. Alright, small elevations can be climbed by just walking into them. Very nifty. Well, I guess that's not the way. Hey, just checking, actually. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be taking any damage. Same here. I wonder if this is my view or if I'm viewing things from the top of her head. Red syringe. An unknown syringe with an unknown bright red fluid in it. Well, guesses are that it's a health syringe, but obviously it'd be rude to assume. Yes, stamina updates in real time. Some doors need to be opened with items. To use an item on something, open the inventory with the inventory button, then drag the item onto the door you want to use it on. Very interesting. Good work. Keep going. There's so much work to be done tonight. Remember, you can hold control to look around freely, getting a better look at things. So I can. A wolf? Wait, I've only realized now that that is the Earth, where I expect the moon to be. Something is off. It's a small white dog. Might be feral, nothing else out of the ordinary. That was a bit loud. Woof. Should I be concerned that it looks like it's splitting down the middle? This is probably a mistake, but... You pet the dog. He wags his tail and licks your fingers. Good doggy. Pet the dog. Well, if anything looks like a beginning, it's this. Huh. World map, select a destination, quit game, save game, the full screen button. Oh, I get it. Catacombs beneath every public building, and these are public buildings. I wouldn't really call sewage treatment public, but I guess I can understand the meaning. Home call. Home. Oh, okay. Gameplay tip. Look for false walls. Secrets are everywhere. Real world tip. The real JFK's then aborted fetus was found by the Department of Justice in 2006. How is that a tip? Oh. This is my home, isn't it? As in the protagonist's home. Oh, it's 3D too. Okay, that's just hilarious. while this is neat, it doesn't seem like there's much I can actually do here. Other than listen to this radio and wonder what the heck is going on here. Maybe this will come up later. Gameplay tip. Some tips are outright lies. How fun. Real world tip. Scientists have discovered that humans from 100,000 years ago featured a holy orifice in the head no longer present. It is believed this orifice disappeared after the Crusades. What kind of nonsense? Okay, let's see what this call button is. Gameplay tip. There are multiple solutions to a problem. Real world tip. All food you have ever eaten is rotten. You have never tasted fresh food. Interesting. Yep, this sure does seem to be a phone. 4 digits, no 0. Well, you have to try it on every phone, right? Interestingly, no Z, like normal, and the ABCs don't start on the 1 either. Well, if this comes up, it'll be later, but it's interesting that they show it now. Real world tip. Have you ever tried asking what your father's true name is? You might be surprised. Interesting. Well, we'll start with 1. Every building, from hospitals to homes, contains a room that acts as the heart of the building, delivering blood and nutrients to the building's extremities. Try to find your house's heart. As I said, something special. Interestingly, I don't even start with that syringe I found. It never did explain what it was, did it? It's not hard to enter a public building. The buffoon who invented locks and windows has never heard of a hammer. Fair enough. False walls are everywhere, huh? Well, I suppose it'd be too soon for them to show up now. A fountain in a sewer treatment plant. Well, I've heard of worse ideas to market yourself. Let's look around the room before I enter any doors. A swaying light, but no aperture on which it sways on. Aperture is probably the wrong word. Water treatment. Human waste being processed and cleaned, made acceptable for consumption again. Chemicals being added to chemicals to remove chemicals. Interesting viewpoint, technically true. If water treatment is for our safety and concern, why is there an elevator heading straight into the human waste? What could be hidden down there? That's an elevator. Also, I didn't expect so much dialogue from myself, so to speak. And if it is such a big secret, why is it so easy to go down there? Sick fucks. Alright, so that's the elevator down. Let's look around first. And stamina doesn't replenish as long as you're holding down the sprint key, even if you can't actually sprint. Huh. Interestingly, this game doesn't allow you to strafe if you're holding down a movement key already. Like if I'm going forward, I can't strafe to the left or right. Let's try... Nope, it won't let me drop myself into the water. Smart, I suppose. A nice loading screen. This elevator already feels different than the one I climbed into. Catacomb, huh? No, I can't take a torch. Just in case. Oh, I can actually look at these. The pipes look rusty from years of decay. They look like they only have a few days left in them. The rusted pipes sing back to you in a harmony of pneumatic pressure. The rust feels rough, something that you actually kind of like. You think it might be fun if you could rust away, just like these pipes. That doesn't do anything. Okay, so some things can actually be interacted with. Some not obvious things, I should say. Oh shoot, I need to be careful with that free look. Wait, actually, could I step down from here? No. Okay, I can step down from here. So it'll allow a height difference of about that much. Nothing here. Oh, that bothers me. You can't walk down this tunnel perfectly center. Well, that's an unusual creature. Okay, so I can interact with him from a step away. The double-stalked thing looks at you with all of its eyes. It seems to beckon you. Kawaii stalk. Oh, hello. My, aren't you a cute one? Say, isn't there nothing better than being tangled up? Would you like to be tangled up? You try to touch the stalked thing, but it grabs your hand. You just barely manage to pull your hand free at the last moment. Yes, that did hurt me. Violence begets silence. Kill. Was that a mistake? Maybe. But it hurt me. Up or out? Let's head up first. Wow, no, that looks like a lot. Back down. Seven health. Maybe I should have investigated the thing more, but I didn't want to. April 19th. I feel like I just woke up the other day for the first time. I have memories before Sunday, but they just feel so hazy, so much less vivid. I feel so awake now, so real. I just can't stop smiling. Something good has happened. It's happened. First self-portrait. I think I'll save that for later. If there's anything my head tells me, it's that putting yourselves in narrow corridors rarely ends well. Then what is this? Did I not notice it before, or is this on a path different from the entrance? Well, now I have to go down it. I should have taken the opportunity to examine it, especially since it seemed like it couldn't follow me in. Place of Remembrance. Visit a church. It's a statue meant to be worshipped. Though a bit crude, the wings are quite striking. Wings. You talk to the statue, but it feels a bit embarrassing to do so. The kind of concrete you want to lick, full of textures and holes. Well, that means this probably is a health syringe. I'm not sure. I'm not gonna use it just yet. Mystery thing. The straight woman's eyes look angry, but mostly tired. Okay. Oh, you startled me. This holy place has been overrun by those sparkled-eyed freaks. I can barely do anything to keep them away. You reach out to playfully yank her hair, but she doesn't let you. She's mean. Why would she do that? Just checking. Nope, not a secret wall. These places are catacombs, alright. I'm already lost. A door without a key. Okay, not doing so hot anymore. And no, you can't interact with the... Oh, I was already hurt. Anyway, no, you can't interact with the enemies in any other way other than killing them. Yep, my health gauge is visibly lower now. The nugget looks at you in a peasantly way. It's simply so fun to live off of human waste. We funnel human byproduct into our queen, who in turn replicates the raw material into flesh and milk for us. I know I'll regret this, but you regret touching the nugget. Your hands are covered in a greasy slime now. Noted. Kill on sight. I don't see anything, but it's hard to look behind you. And something tells me that getting multiple enemies on you is a very real risk and something very dangerous. Locked door, no way through. Well, hello. Seems as if these are good for 3 health each. Don't get too close to it. It's moving around in a way that really pisses you off. My key, my special key, the queen gave it to me, my special love gave it to me. If anyone ever took it, I'd explode, I'd be so mad. It almost instantly wriggles out of your grasp and begins dancing again. Yeah, getting rid of that before I touch the key seems like the safe choice. Queen key, a rusted but very special key. I think I might know where it goes, but I want to investigate more first. Boy, I sure hope enemies can't respawn. Oh good, these are the same kind of creature as the woman behind the church. The Threat woman is old, but her eyes are still alert and aware. What is a Threat, I wonder? I remember when I was young, we would run around these stone halls. They were so beautiful. Can you imagine that? It seems so long ago, but I remember the smell of the fresh air. The Threat woman backs away from your touch. The Threat woman stares back at you, suspicious of your intentions. Watch your step, Wayward. The bridge is out. I've been throwing rocks into this chasm for hours, and I haven't heard one hit the bottom. You reach out to touch her face, but the Threat woman bats away your hand, shooting you an accusatory glare. Chains. I should have come here first. Alright. Grotesque. Her form has taken up the entire room, swollen from years of gestation and propagation. After all this time, look at that lovely smile. Oh, hee hee, is it time for me to go? You place your hand on the queen's forehead. It feels cold and glassy, like porcelain. You regret touching the royal nugget. Your hands are covered in a greasy slime now. She was a good queen. However, like all good queens, she must eventually be recycled. Do us a favor and use those hands of yours to get the job done. The royal nugget looks at you with an air of pomp and circumstance. Heavy as a crown, the guillotine has been set since before the queen was born and will be set for many generations of milk babies like her to come. The royal nugget looks at you with an air of slimy confidence. Oh, I guess I picked up their syringe automatically. Oh, that guillotine. Maybe that's where this key goes. Oh, lever. Probably a shortcut to an other area. That's how this has gone so far. Have I been there before? Maybe. What was that? The wall looks a little worse for wear. Talking to a wall will not do you any good. They tend to be awful at conversations. You wrap your knuckles against the wall. It rings out a bit more hollow than the other walls. So no, I wasn't on the other side of this, but I am now. Oh, this is a key. Hey, that's the same symbol that was in my home. Key of the mind. Find an emerald key. Interesting. Null this because I accidentally walked a bit too far to the left. To the right. Okay, I doubt all secret walls will have an obvious tell about them, though, so I'll have to keep an eye out. Alright, back to it. Well, I can only imagine one thing this lever could do. Surprisingly, that was not what I imagined that lever was going to do. Seems as if this straight woman took the chance to go across the bridge. This one stayed behind, though. Nothing new from her, though. The straight woman looked severely disappointed, mostly in herself. The bridge was raised, but there's nothing over here. I had hoped there may be food here that I could bring to my village, but I suppose it was just a pipe dream. All that is here is a lousy, rusty lever. Nothing new there. Game seemed to lag a bit. But it doesn't take a genius to know what happened there. And yeah, it turns out the number keys here actually do something. This wall looks a little worse for wear. Is it like that on this side too? No. Geez. I'm surprised I actually noticed that. Oh. Well, aren't you an unusual creature? Pseudo two-dimensional. Symbolic, man. You might think that you're in pain, but I've been here a lot longer than you. Eventually, it'll all become quiet and all return to symbols. Feels like paper and wetness. You kind of like touching the symbolic, man. Another syringe. Dr. Edison. I apologize, but this doesn't make any sense. I can't wrap my head around it. All measurements, gravity, trajectory, mass, they're all consistent with a planet noticeably smaller than Earth. There's no way that Earth lost mass, did it? And what of the Earth that now hangs in the sky? It too looks just like our planet, but far smaller, closer in size to a moon. I don't see how you can deny all of this. Your claim that all of this is simply caused by equipment failure or operator error is absurd. I understand the desire to be skeptical, and I respect what you have done for me over the years, but at some point we need to start looking at what is directly in front of our faces. You are in denial of the situation we have found yourselves in. Signed, Tias Tiasmigian? Tiasmigian? TS. I'll just call them TS. We'll see if they show up later. Oh, also tab brings up the inventory and all. 2 health syringes, and now a third. Can I pick it up by just walking into it? No, it stops me. Wait, doesn't this seem familiar? It is familiar. This is the other place. There it went. You got an Egg of the Earth. Press any key to continue. Egg of the Earth. Complete an area. And there's my face. Well, I'm sure that won't have any long-term consequences. Yep, no backtracking. Gameplay tip. Sanity medication hurts your health. Real world tip. Viruses do not exist. Illness is simply your body punishing you for what you have done wrong. Well, oh dear. Oh, you can shift here. It's kind of funny. Cerebrospinal fluid at 80%. It doesn't seem to want to say more. I am so damn tired of this. Look all around you. Look how gray it all is. Everything has been turned into day soup. It's all your fault. So it's proximity. You hate me, don't you? Stop making the world gray. Stop doing this to me. Nutritional fibrotic cell health wavering at a grade of approximately 60%. Musculoskeletal system reacting poorly, please be advised. Open lung sore detected. Head like a DOA. Dead on arrival. Psychopomp efficiency currently at 0%. A helmet? For more diagnostics, please subscribe to a Platinum membership. Gameplay tip. Some creatures do not like light. The Queen of Dragonflies is sleeping and smiling. The world can be dangerous. Be careful. Well, I haven't found anything that feels like a number. Trees are not the only organisms capable of inoculation. Deer, whales, and humans are also perfectly capable. Okay, I'm curious. What is that? Inoculation is a natural phenomenon in which trunks, branches, or roots of 2 trees grow together in a manner biologically similar to the artificial process of grafting. It customarily results when tree limbs are braided or pleached. Pleached? The branches first grow separately in proximity to each other until they touch. Okay, what's pleached mean? Pleaching or plashing is a technique of interweaving living and dead branches through a hedge, creating a fence, hedge, or a lattice. Trees are planted in lines, and the branches are woven together to strengthen and fill any weak spots until the hedge thickens. Interesting. Terrifying implications. Alright, we already messed this up a bit because the first one of these was supposed to come directly after the tutorial, but I didn't quite realize what was going on when I was editing it. So it's too late for that now because it will be too much of a pain to get everything together. So we're just doing this combined with the tutorial insights and the first level insights in the same cutting. We'll try to keep this short because I ain't so good at critical thinking, so I'll just list my observations. I rewatched what I currently have so far to refresh myself as much as I can, and made a list of insights that I noted. I will say, however, that this is, of course, being recorded after the fact that I've played the entire portion of the game that you're going to see in the video, so some of this will have insight into later levels. I'll try to mention it if I can, and I will try to handle this better in the future if I determine that this experiment is a success. But with that out of the way, let's not dally. First observation is the odd symbolism in the intro before the game even begins. The protagonist, this embodied head on strange machinery. Even more notable is that most of the machinery, barring some bars right underneath the neck, are all circular, either gears, actual random circles, some of which have smaller circles inside or alongside them, and the mystery semicircle shapes, U shapes you could say, at various portions of it. 2 portions specifically, and I wonder what the symbolism behind that could be. You might get a bit more of an idea after the second level, but we'll leave that alone for now. A world hidden that everyone knew. Is knowledge of this world a potential special power? And everyone implies that everyone except her knew about it. Could that really be true? As for the home button on the gameplay screen, is home an actual place or an allegory for the protagonist's mind? Especially with the fact that the emerald key seems to unlock further areas, but is also listed as a key of the mind, and we will get back to that later. One of the gameplay tips also mentions multiple solutions to a problem, but so far, at least, and I am taking my entire gameplay session in account here, most of the game seems to be really linear, barring secrets. And I'm wondering if this is referring to secrets or if there is genuinely something I'm missing in some of the levels. Normal doors at the beginning of most levels and rarely inside levels themselves seem to invariably be either locked off, or otherwise of no interest to the player. And I wonder if that's meant to be some sort of symbolism itself. False walls, so far, seem to be associated with blood and seem to be living entities, as they must be killed and do in fact scream when you successfully bypass them. And in the church, which isn't quite hidden, but it is out of the way, and is definitely an area that you could bypass entirely by accident, well, the angel inside seems to be of an odd shape. Now, angels are sometimes depicted as humanoid, but this one reminds me more of a kind of insect. And considering a future observation and what you might encounter in the children's hospital level coming up next, that might mean something. Are emerald keys actual physical keys or metaphorical representations of exploring deeper into whatever mental shenanigans are going on here? The actual helmet, and I think I mentioned this earlier, but according to that one NPC in the home/head area, is at 0% efficiency, which implies total non-functionality, which means that it doesn't seem to actually be doing anything. And yet, it seems to have awoken the protagonist in some form or fashion. Something strange is going on here, and I think it has more to do with the protagonist than the actual helmet itself. But that could be reading too much into it. That said, this took way too long. This entire voice clip is just about 16 minutes, and I will obviously have to cut it down to the more important observations. But otherwise, back to the video. I feel like before the public school was 2, but I might be mistaken. Editor will tell me if I am. Children's hospital then. Sometimes you shouldn't touch things. I see. Oh, I actually keep the syringes I found. So do investigate secret areas, even when there doesn't seem to be anything to gain. 2 hallways. This is a children's hospital, right? Children's hospitals have the same smell to them. It's a clean smell that somehow makes you want to vomit, like a mixture of bleach and Elmer's glue. I love it. Doctors will always smile at you when they say they cannot help you. Give them the copay and die more as they tell you that you aren't full of cancer, aren't full of incurable diseases. You're only sick once. Weird thing. And this is just where I came from, right? Yeah. Just to make extra sure, I can't... Yep, no interacting with an exit. Huh? Oh, that's a fallen monitor or something. Hospitals feel like the safest place to me, even though I know they aren't. They're the least safe place, a place that will swallow you whole and give you disease, a place that will cut you open and make others feel good about it. And through it all, the elevator is there. I can smell it. That smell of rust and petrol breaking through the clean hospital smell. The doors wide open, waiting for me to enter. Oh, here we go again. Oh, we have something here right away. And a small lag spike. Yes, those are entrances. A lot of ways to go through from here. The nurse looks at you through an eyeless void. You just know that she's thinking about meat. Eternal Nurse. Welcome to the lower wing. Here we help to preserve the most important individuals of humankind, both in honor of their contributions and as a sign for the rest of humanity to follow. The nurse feels dry and warm to the touch. She really cares about you. Yep, can't just go back in the elevator. Okay, so there's two things to keep an eye out for. The actual objective of the area, and an emerald key. And the emerald key will most likely be hidden. I shall have my hammer out. Terrifying. Recently uncovered texts reference two enigmatic figures, Savinash Vishneri, Queen of Venus, and Krusner Colvin, King of Mercury. Several ancient textiles depict these beings creating the heavenly bodies and weaving the universe. Their names seemingly refer to two fictitious planets, Venus and Mercury respectively, which they held dominion over. It is thought that these figures acted as a subject of worship. However, their descriptions and depictions within the textiles match no known religions or cultures. Figure A. Symbols of the aforementioned deities. Note the upright cross, possibly denoting a connection to Christianity. You know, it's only now that I realize I don't think the protagonist has been named yet. I don't like the noises coming through this door. Okay, here it seems simple. Test of timing. And the hallway continues. Gosh, this is spooky. I really hope that's not a hint for something, because I am not going to be able to remember it. Oh, that's the sounds of children. It's a lot darker here. The nurse wears a plastic keycard around her neck. What a time to be alive. It's really great to get outside every once in a while. Make sure you're going outside. If you're not doing that, you're practically killing yourself. The nurse moves in a shaky, outdoorsy sort of way. I hope I don't have to kill her for her keycard. Well, now down this other way. More claws. The nurse looks off in a daze, thinking of the wonderful heavenly bodies. Beautiful night, isn't it? It makes me feel a lot better to know that when I look at the moon, someone is looking back. The nurse's warm interior is covered by a cold exterior. No, you can't hit these things. Well, should have expected that. Five HP. Boy, don't you look excited. Yep, he's healed 3 HP. Another one. The nurse has a key card around her neck. You think about choking her with it. Each and every one of these small rooms houses an important figure. Once a patient has grown enough, they'll be moved to their own main room up above. She feels like a smile and touches like a day. Honestly, I want to deal with that last. It's in all directions. I guess I'll deal with you first. Hands, eyes, pubes, syringe. Smiles. Cleopatra is before you. She moves and shakes in an ambitious, dangerous way. I'm gonna have to turn this down. Cleopatra. There's nothing better in life than having people think you're helping them. Popularity is absolutely key when moving forward. If you play your cards right, anything seems necessary. A massacre, a young girl with a slit throat, the dissolution of a people, a crushed slave revolt. They'll do it all for you, if you know how. You get no pleasure from touching Cleopatra. Anger, mushrooms, death. Alexander the Great is before you. He quivers and slops in a violent way. Alexander, there's nothing greater in this world than the feeling of battle, to conquer and to be conquered, to feel that warm slick on your hand. Wouldn't you agree? I will do anything to feel another man's blood again. You get no pleasure from touching Alexander the Great. I guess these are the main rooms the nurse from below was talking about. Crib. Circus. I don't even know what that is meant to be. Oh, a pool. Plato is before you. He quivers and shakes in a perverse way. I was right about everything in my life except for the cave. I was totally off the mark with that. No matter, there is no better sound than the sound of children, the touch of children, the smell of children. Socrates agrees with me, so you know it's good and right. You get no pleasure from touching Plato. Well, I am lost here. Wait. This is a secret wall. It's a cochlea, an important part of the human ear. I used to be a number cruncher for a big corporation, and it was so boring and awful. A boring businessman. Then I got extensive surgery to be a free-floating cochlea, and I've never been happier. The cochlea feels sensitive and receptive to sound. And there's 2 ways to go from here? How comforting. Oh shoot, I didn't even see you there. The nurse is ready for hard work in R&D in the coming future. Perfection? Now that's hard. We've got to strive for it though. After all, perfect patients need perfect parasites. The nurse feels dry and cracked. Itchy. Find a tick. More nurses, too. The nurse looks very proud of new discoveries in mental health. It's hard to turn a human into a parasite. Most people would never want to be a parasite. That's why her brain is filled with dopamine 24/7 to keep her chugging, and it works. The nurse feels happy to be alive. The nurse looks excited. The future is full of opportunities. Study of neoparasitics is very important to us. Parasites are some of the most efficient creatures on the planet. This new parasite was developed from the body of a young teacher in Berlin. We have very high hopes for her. In her. The nurse feels dry and cracked. Nothing behind her. The tick squirms and burbles between the faces of the wall, happy to be surrounded so snugly. The tick is simply too happy to respond in any meaningful way, so it just gurgles in delight instead. You can't reach the tick to touch it, but you have a feeling it might grab you if you try. Faces on the wall? Sure enough. Oh, sorry, nurse. but I think I need your key card. Nurse key card, a plastic key card. What to use it for, I don't know. You know, I was afraid of that. The nurse looks at you through an eyeless void. You feel a plump kind of love coming from her. We've nourished our patients so well. Look at how plump and happy their bodies have become. I'm so proud of them. The nurse's dry surface is covered in a layer of wetness. There goes Alexander. The figure is dead and is slumped over in its metal cast. Slimy and cold. Are you here before? The nurse wears a key card around her neck. As a thanks for their contributions to society, our patients are surrounded by their most favorite things in life. They'll never get bored and they'll never be unhappy. The nurse feels dry and warm to the touch. She feels very proud of her special key card. Mine now. There it is. Which implies that the secret entrance for this is somewhere on the other side. The nurse looks at you through an eyeless void. She's trickling in a most vile way. You must understand, nutrients and meat are siphoned from hospital patients from around the world to keep our VIP guests alive. It might seem brutal, but I bet you never even noticed it until now. The nurse touches and feels in a way that tells you she really understands the big picture when it comes to healthcare. There goes Plato. The figure is dead. Slimy and cold. Before we pull that lever, we shall take a good look around. There it is. I knew there must have been another enemy. Gosh dang, those things hit fast when you let them. There goes all my health. Alright, I'll be honest, I don't remember who this is. Cleopatra? Probably Cleopatra. Slimy and cold. You have anything to say to this? Nope. Oh, pick it up. An egg of the earth. Into the earth. Ominous. Transient location. Well, obviously I need to check that out first, since that seems to be temporary. But first, home. The cure for cancer was discovered in 1994 by a man known as Marcel A. Linden. Linden was unfortunately killed in 1994 when he was impaled by a child's crayon drawing. Not by a crayon, the drawing. Let me in. Let me in. Well, this is immensely uncomfortable. Well, nothing to do but to rush in. It is just a drawing. Let's keep going to the side while we can. Another drawing. Alright, forward then. Man with a crying thing over it. Something. And there's the next key. Or should I say the next lock? No idea what this could be. Free look isn't allowed. Oh, I can just walk over it. Oh, okay. Well, nothing more for us here. Make sure to use items sparingly. They're rare. Now you tell me. Oh, luckily it's still here. Probably should have clicked that before. The world can be dangerous. Be careful. Outside the fold. Transient location, Daddy's bad place. Discover a transient location. This... An old dusty TV set. It's pretty rare that you find a TV that speaks when spoken to. Most of them are too self-absorbed.
At 3:45 a.m. today, a state of emergency was declared following the appearance of a large unknown insect-like creature in the Melness borough of Central City. The creature is unpredictable and is considered to be highly dangerous. This is not a drill. If you are inside, stay inside. If you are outside, find the nearest shelter. If you are thinking, stop thinking. The insect may appear to you as a human. It is not. It is an aberration of your imagination and does not exist. Stay away from the insect.
It's pretty rare that you find a TV that speaks when spoken to. Most of them are too self-absorbed. When a TV talks back to you, it's a true friend. You run your finger across the surface of the TV set, picking up a notable layer of dust. You think about how it might feel if you were covered in the layer of dust. I wonder if that has something to do with the dragonflies thing I heard a while ago. Another transient location? The Queen of Dragonflies is sleeping and smiling. That's where I saw it. Transient location. Starting point. Hey, it's one of those straight women. The Thrate woman seems lost in thought. When nobody was looking, the Queen's chrysalis hatched. That means she's out there, who knows where. I can't help but fear. There are vermin dogs who would lead her astray. I must have faith the Queen will return. Her skin is rougher than you expected, covered in a thin layer of fur. Should I be concerned that this was called the starting point? Is this the same transient location? Not every enemy is a friend. Public schools are required to have at least 50 teeth of mammalian origin embedded into their north-facing walls, for structural and safety reasons. Alright, this is the second cut-in where I try to explain my thoughts about the section of gameplay we've just handled. It is a shorter list this time because it is just for the one world and a little about the transient worlds. 12 items in total, so we should be able to get it all in as long as I don't take too long. So, let's begin. Insight number 1. The door is wide open, waiting for me to enter. As in, specifically the protagonist? Is she there not just to explore, to uncover secrets, but for a specific purpose? Combined with the future insight, that might very well be the case. The unusual paper about the Queen of Venus and the King of Mercury. Normally it could be fluff, but these planets are listed as fictional on that paper, and the symbols are actually somewhat similar to the strange machinery that we demonstrated both in the intro of this video and in the first cut-in earlier. I'll put pictures here comparing them. Yes, the U shape is a bit of an enigma, but assuming that the thing on the right is meant to be the symbol representing the Queen of Venus, well, maybe there's something to extrapolate from that. Just thinking aloud. Speaking of which, the protagonist still hasn't been named, and I can't help but think that at this point, that's probably being done on purpose. I wonder if we'll ever get to know her name. Will anyone say it? Will she say it? Does anyone know it? Did anyone know her before all this happened? Moving on. There is that strange mystery code at the end of that hallway. I can't remember the code, but I am going to show what I typed here earlier. Now, I actually have an idea about that, and I'm gonna try something real quick. If it works, I will post it here. If it doesn't, well, then I'll just come back and say so. Yeah, it didn't work, and I kind of feel dumb for trying, so I'm not actually gonna tell you what I did try. Oops. Moving on. Cleopatra, Plato, and Alexander. Why them, of all people? Plato, if I remember from my very old, very behind me school days by now, is a guy who pontificated about a perfect ideal world. Alexander, greatest military commander. Cleopatra, I don't know much about Cleopatra. I would say they were all rulers, but I'm pretty sure Plato was only a philosopher, and while he did have wide-ranging impact on the world, he didn't actually rule over anything, so I don't see what connects these three people. Like, I don't think it's time either. I'm pretty sure they were in different time periods, so I don't know. Moving on. What are eggs of the earth? They look like little eggs, yes, but they also look like developing fetuses. And yet, despite this symbolism of birth, they only show up when people die. Is that a metaphor for recycling or something? Now here I'm going to bring up that gameplay tip that I brought up the first time. There are multiple solutions to a problem. With that tip, I have to ask, did I have to kill the nurses in order to get their key cards, or was there another way? Either to grab the key cards from them directly, or to enter the Great One's chambers without them. I don't know, but I don't think so. That said, I wonder if that's the protagonist's purpose. Like, these elevators are for her to find, right? Is she meant to be the one who cleans things up? Is that her purpose? Alright, now onto the transient worlds. Daddy's bad place? Is this a memory or something else? Are we referring to the protagonist's father? Who knows? As for the emergency broadcast, a human-looking insect and a queen of dragonflies is consistently mentioned. But is it a real broadcast? If it's a transient world, assuming that it is not actual reality, so maybe not. The starting point, the Queen's Chrysalis. The Queen of Dragonflies? Whose starting point? The Queen's or the protagonist's? Are they the same thing? Is the protagonist the Queen of Dragonflies? Well, those are all my thoughts for now. Thank you for bearing with me if you've gotten this far. There isn't too much longer left. Please do stick around. The public school. The scariest of places. Keep that smile going. Shutters. What's over here? When you sleep inside a school, you learn new things. When I sleep inside a school, I taste new things. The lunchroom? The American flag. Through the smell of pencil wood and erasers, I can smell something new. A thick iron smell. I'm getting close. Oh, that's the elevator. Cold place where they put the loud kids. Detention, I see. By the way, as far as I can tell, there is no pause menu. Hitting escape doesn't do anything. The elevator is down this way. I can feel it even if I can't see it. It's like a vein that goes down into a heart. Oh, this is the elevator. Even if you step back... Wait. The elevator automatically turns you around. So if you go in to the front, you'll be turned around to see the closing doors. But if for some reason you go in backwards like I did, you're turned around to face the back walls. That's funny. Welcome to my factory. I trust that you will find your own way around here. Head of production. Wait. My flashlight is on, right? Yep. Huh. I thought I was at 8. So you heal after every world. That's good to know. What is that? Must be something over there. Open Valley. When the child looks to the sky, they will make believe about stars, planets, and other impossible lights shining above. When the adult looks to the sky, they will see no light but take comfort in it. There is no danger in nothingness. When the dead looks to the sky, they will smile and close their eyes, seeing that there was light all along. Stupid, there are no stars. Hey, it's me. Unfortunately, can't seem to interact with the posters in any way. Interestingly enough, though, that seems to be a 3D picture. This is the main factory floor. I know this is a bit much to ask, but there is a machine surrounding my head. One that will smash it into a fine putty. Will you go and turn off the safeguard so that machine will turn on? The metal man twitches and stares at the gears with a sense of lust. Medallion man. Having a factory under an elementary school is so pragmatic, wouldn't you agree? It affords us so many opportunities we wouldn't have otherwise. Rust and sweat. That is a hole. Still a hole, but I think there might be something down there. And that is the head, huh? Let's talk to you first. Cold and hard to the touch, the cloak is made of pig iron. A notably stiff metal, I think. Pretty impressive that he's moving it like that. The metal man smiles at you, and grimaces too. The head of the factory is up ahead. The fucker keeps begging us to kill him. Doesn't he know how important it is to continue manufacturing? My life has turned into an endless line of misery and illness. I beg of you, if you have any mercy in your soul, please kill me and make it as painful as possible. Doesn't do anything yet. I imagine that I'll have to activate the button. Let's not forget about the emerald key either. Though I imagine this one is probably hidden by a path that doesn't feel like a path at first, since there doesn't seem to be much room for walls. Well, only bad things can come from standing under there. Yeah, this one comes down much faster. Thank goodness I remember that you can strafe. Should be safe. Medallion Man chatters his teeth when the crushers smash into the floor. Oh, you made it through. That's a sign of a good worker. A good worker doesn't follow safety protocols and does not die when doing so. Rust and sweat and metal shavings. Thankfully, I can't accidentally fall or I will be dying every time. Medallion Man stands in place. It smells like enamel around here. This is where we make parasitic enamel. Once mature, the enamel will be applied to the teeth of the children up above and will learn new things from the words they speak. This information is fed to a generative model, which will then use it to create new lessons for the children. Rust and sweat and metal shavings. That actually reminds me. I wonder if the transient worlds you unlock, and having the chance to unlock, I should say, depend on how many emerald keys you found. Medallion Man stands in place. He guards the computer with his life. Oh god damn it. Is the head of production trying to kill himself again? Let me guess. He sent you here so you can crush his skull. Not gonna happen, dumbass. Get the hell out of here. Safeguard off. What is going on here? weird thing. Didn't manage to hurt me, thankfully. Come on. Jeez, I couldn't see that one at all. The Metal Man thinks about cool things in the future. This is my favorite building in the factory. When a small child has outlasted their use, we melt them down into slag and turn that into new butter knives and egg slices. I think that recycling is beautiful, don't you think? Vibrations inside. The metallic man looks at you disdainfully. Huh? Let you buy to shut down the safeguards? So you can crush the head of the factory? You've got to be stupid if you think I'd do that. You've got to be a dumbass if you think I'd do that. You can't touch this guy. But I can kill him. You know what these are? These are the things that you use to slice, like... I don't remember, but they're a plastic thing with some metal things that you use to slice up avocados, I think. I don't really like avocados, but some people do, and I've seen them use them. I wonder how many safeguards there are. But still, I have not found a hint on where the emerald key might be. Medallion Man is feeling fine. Sometimes I come to these lower catwalks just to feel closer to the void below. The smell is stronger here too. Cold but burning, wet but drying. Oh shoot. Run. Sorry, dude, I accidentally killed you. Jeez, that thing really had me cornered. I need to be more careful. Refresh. The vending machine might have water inside, but it might have something else too. Vending machine whirs back at you in an agreeable manner. He's so cute. The plastic marquee of the vending machine is covered in a layer of dust. It's still cold to the touch. Granted, I might have missed a few secret areas, but still. Wait, one of those shapes. Yeah, that's an enemy. Come on. Still got a head off, but I managed to get it. Medallion Man has been given a very boring job and has had a pay cut. He feels really happy about both of those things. This is the station that controls the pressure of the head crusher machine. Feel free to mess around with it, it's not like we're ever gonna use it. Fun fact, it takes a minimum of 500 psi to crush a skull. Rust and sweat and metal shavings. And a secret wall. No, that's the enamel. Ah, thank goodness. Ooh, and a syringe. But this time I'm gonna keep it, just to make sure that I actually do heal when I leave a world. Alright, bud, did as you asked. That's it. Neat. You got an egg of the earth. Toss it into the pit. Descend. But first, another transient location. Save game. Threat Village. The Threat woman eyes you up and down, distrust in her expression. Our village was forced down here after all the humans appeared on the surface. It's horrible. This is our home, and to call this place our world, Earth, makes me sick. You reach out to playfully yank her hair, but she doesn't let you. She's mean. Why would she do that? The Threat woman looks very hungry, but more than that, she looks worried. Food has been hard to come by. We have to go out searching, and sometimes those who go looking don't come back. It's impossible to raise livestock down here. If you find any food, please bring it here. You reach out to touch her face, but the Threat woman moves out of the way just at the last moment, looking at you funny. The Threat child is no older than 2 years. Yesterday I ate a rat. It was real gross. Everyone tells me that we used to eat all sorts of stuff, but now it's just rats and old hamburgers. You reach out to pat the Threat child, but it lightly growls at you, showing some small but sharp teeth. The Threat woman eyes you up and down, trying to figure out what exactly you are. Up on the surface the other day, I saw a human get hit by a car. Everything inside of them spilled out. Nothing but dust and clay. You reach out to poke her in the eye, but the Threat woman shoots you a look that makes you stop. The Threat woman looks tired and stressed, most likely due to her environment. These concrete walls have gotten smaller. It pains me to see the child trapped this deep, under a sickly blue sky. The Threat woman shies away. Alright, save game. Before I descend, let's check out that new key. Alright, let's see where this goes now. Hello there, I am Libido. Everything that is wonderful. Those things that make you so happy and make your toes curl. Those come from me, dear. You don't have to thank me. Everything I do is for my own sake. Thank you very much. Disturbing. Another key. Well, no point. There's at least one biocomputer mainframe stored in every public government building. Alright, let's see what happens when I click this button. Deeper down, descend to a lower area. Hard structure, instructions. I do want to continue, but I think that I should leave it here. Especially since there doesn't seem to be a way back up. Alright, last cut-in of the video. And after this, we're basically gonna go straight to the outro. So we're gonna keep this short, both because I am tired or because I am frazzled, I don't know. I didn't come up with many insights this time around, only 4 in fact. I mean, sure, there is plenty to question, but I didn't feel like it, or I simply accepted it as is. That said, let's get into it. First insight isn't really an insight, it's just a funny. I unfortunately had to cut it out to try and squish this video down as much as possible, but while you can't look at or talk to the fire in the Threat village, you can in fact touch it, and it does in fact deal 1 damage, which I found hilarious, and I'm really sorry I had to cut that out. That said, this is an insight that was cut out for the first look in. What exactly are Threats? They used to be definitely a more involved species in the planet, and at some points even imply that they used to quote-unquote own the world until humans drove them down. Wonder how that happened. One of the Threat women looks at the protagonist, that is, and wonders what exactly they are, or at least according to the protagonist's point of view, that is what their look says. And considering this Threat woman in particular knows what a human is, both inside and out, though whether or not that is a literal description is up in the air. That just raises more questions about who the protagonist is. Last insight, what's with this area that we drop in now? This looks like a pelvis, but of a creature with a much bigger spine and with 4 distinct legs. Like, assuming that the first area was in a plaza, this is in reality, with the buildings being actual buildings with connections to these catacombs. This new area seems to be something firmly already within that space. Well, I guess that's a question that's gonna be answered next time. The next time I visit this game, that is. It won't be the next video, unfortunately. That said, thank you very much. I'll go ahead and pass it off to the last gasps of the gameplay guy, and then we'll go on to the outro. Do take care, everyone. Alright, everyone. Thank you very much for joining me today. I'll go ahead and leave it to the outro guy to try and parse my thoughts. Also, you may notice some cutting in the middle of the gameplay. What was that? I'm not sure I'll be able to do that yet, but I will try. That said, see you later. So I'm trying something unusual with this video. Something new that I hope might have a place in future videos as well, so we'll see if it sticks around. For clarification's sake though, I am recording this outro before I do those special things, so if I don't end up doing those special things, this isn't gonna make any sense, so I'd say ignore it, but I'll just cut it out if I don't do any of that. If I do that though, you'll notice that I have decided to insert a clip with my thoughts at the checkpoints, I want to say, of significant portions of gameplay, detailing my thoughts of each area and what I thought about it. If I succeeded in this endeavor, well, I hope you all agreed with what I had to say. If I didn't, well, you'll never have heard it anyway. If you did hear it though and don't agree, well, that is your right. That said, it did genuinely have a lot of fun. This game feels unusual. That is the best way to put it. Unusual and unsettling and also very silly, and I love it. Like, it really hits that nail on the head between what upsets me but also intrigues me. If it was much scarier, I likely wouldn't be able to play it as easily, but I do so with a light heart. It's made slightly heavier by me accidentally killing that guy when I was running around earlier. I hope that doesn't affect my ending, if this game even has multiple endings. Alright, that said, what is the protagonist's name? I don't think it's been explicitly stated anywhere yet. Unless I'm an idiot, in which case editing guy will put the text up there, but I don't think I saw it anywhere. Needless to say, this will be something we revisit later, when the group votes for it again, of course. Until then, thank you all for watching this video, and it is good to be back. See you later.